What?
Bingo. All right, sorry y'all. Apparently Facebook is not working. Sticking with this for like 20 minutes, so.
13.
Happens.
13 minutes.
He said 13 minutes.
13 minutes. I was
Right
ready
when
to
we're
go at
actually
55.
gonna when we actually gonna get this working where it like works on time and we're ahead of schedule, and then one of these has to.
That's
act
a
up.
violation of Murphy's Law.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's always what happens though. Like every damn time that we do this and we're ahead of schedule, and Biz is like, we're gonna be on time. This shit happens every time. Like it's like
it happens
clockwork.
with us too.
Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, please welcome our guests. We've got Ron and Rhonda tonight from Tales from the Lounge. You guys might have saw me on their show last two weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah. So, welcome to the show, guys.
Well, thank you for having us.
Absolutely. We had to run one back.
That's
Had to
right.
Yes, we did.
Make you guys do the long format.
Okay, long format. Let's get it then.
Yeah, let's go.
We might as well just dive right into it. What you got for us?
I mean, we can do whatever we want tonight. That's the fun part about this. So, I mean, why don't we just start off though? Like for those that don't know about Tales from the Lounge, tell everybody a little bit about Tales from the Lounge and how that started and how you two formed up together and became the team as R&R from Tales from the Lounge.
Well, technically it's called Tales from Lounge, but realistically it's the Rhonda show. But
Queen Rhonda, come on, even I know this.
I guess it's been about 5-6 years ago. I was having a conversation with my ex-wife, and she knew that I had become passionate about cigars and was really learning a lot of stuff and liking it. And she made the comment, hey, listen, in a few years when you pay off all the bills and everything, if you want to get into the cigar business, we can afford for you to take a pay cut. And so I said, well, what can I do now to get established in the cigar industry? At least to get people knowing who I am and that type of thing. And so I've created Tales from the Lounge because everybody's got a tale to tell. Everybody's got a story, funny lounge story, serious lounge story, an interesting story about how they got involved in cigars and, the whole 9 yards. And so I figured it'd be best just to have people come on and tell stories. And so originally, did up a website, did a couple of articles and everything. But then I originally had Chris Pennington on the show as a co-host, and we were doing Cigar Company Spotlight. And we would pick a cigar company, spend 2 to 4 hours a week each doing research on how they got started, who owned them, And when you start talking about 4th and 5th generation tobacco growers and family businesses over 100 years old, you get wind up with some interesting stuff. So we did that till he decided to move off for a girl, and then
You just throwing him right under the bus with that right out the gate.
He rolled over him.
Yeah. I fixed to throw her under the bus.
And then you backed that shit up.
Oh yeah.
And then drove forward again.
Yeah. That's what he did.
Sorry, Chris. We're still cool, Chris.
We're still cool too.
I still love Chris, but she'd been co-host for me a couple of times when Chris couldn't make it, and so I just asked her if she wanted to be my permanent co-host. But I knew she wasn't going to do any of the research, and I was going to have to reformat the show. So then we turned it into What Are You Smoking? And our goal was to have a guest on every week, and we would just sit and talk about them, their cigar journey, and let them tell tales. And we would all tell tales on each other and with each other about, I remember a similar situation, blah, blah, blah type stuff. And it's been going on for 4 or 5 years now, and making no money whatsoever, but I'm having a hell of a time doing it.
Isn't that the funny part of it all? It's like, shit, I just keep pouring money into this, but damn, I love doing it.
It's a hobby. It's like his hobby.
Yeah.
But it's a fun hobby that he enjoys doing, and I enjoy doing it with him. I
started out very similarly. I've told this story many times, but I mean, short version, when I became a member up here, I was just sitting down really early on in my cigar journey and like having amazing conversations with people and hearing other people's stories and just how they got into what they do in the real world and this and that and why they like this cigar or that cigar. And then that turns into this crazy trip I took to Cuba or Nicaragua or Honduras or, you know, just you name it. It's like you started having these really like awesome conversations. And I was like,
actually,
man, we got to do this.
Well, I'm glad you're clarifying that because what I thought is you saw me doing the show and thought, why the fuck am I not doing that? That looks like fun.
Yeah, I mean, right? Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, all that definitely played a part for sure because, you know, Brandon and them invited me on.
Yep, the Cigar 101.
Cigar. Well, no, it was just Cigar Talk Live, I think, back then.
Well,
like,
yeah.
What turned into Bad Words.
Yeah, it turned into Bad Words.
What turned into Bad Words. And, I mean, I was a guest like twice within like a 30-day period.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, I can get hammered and smoke some cigars and get on here and talk shop. Like, let's do this. Like, let's
Absolutely.
go.
Well, you know, it is really enjoyable. But, you know, and you're right. You're having those conversations that you would normally have with somebody else. Just the only difference is you're on camera. I mean,
I just that still never really like phases me or crosses my mind. Like, the only time we really talk about it is when something like fucking Facebook decides to like kill our live or something. And
it's just killing our joy right now.
Like, damn Zuckerberg.
Killer.
It's probably because he put the data center into his bunker he's building or something right now. Who knows?
You said something offensive last week and he decided to ban you for a little while.
Hey, who knows? You never know what Facebook gonna do. You say one little wrong word and you're in Facebook jail for 30 days.
I don't even look at porn on this computer, so I know it's not that. This is not my porn computer.
How to do a VPN.
You're lucky that's a Mac because I could find it. I could find it in about 30 seconds on a PC.
Private browsing, brother. If you got a Mac, you have nothing to worry about.
Hey, I've been doing this for 20 years. You'd be surprised what I can find.
Oh, you stay your ass away from my computer.
Yeah, we don't need you.
Well, you know, about me.
I used to joke, you know, that I've been in IT for over 25 years, and I've only seen 3 computers in my entire career that didn't have anything on it. Everything had something. But, you know, most of it would be innocuous stuff. You know, they went to a forum, and they had a porn banner on there. So, you know, the porn banner's in the internet cache, you know, and that type of stuff.
Nothing you can do about that.
And you know, and that's what's the funny thing. I had a guy when I was teaching computer certification classes. He brought his PC in. We was going to clean it up and show everybody.
Like in class?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was that was the deal. I said, listen, and so we weren't looking for that, but what happened was I jokingly said, yeah, we get to see Turk's porn tonight. And he goes, oh, there's none of that on there. Oh, I don't do that. You know, blah, blah, blah. And I just said, Turk, you got a son, don't you? And he goes, yeah. I said, how old is he? 17. I said, does he use this computer? He goes, yeah. He says,
then
watch
you got
this.
it. Yeah. You got it.
Hold my beer, watch this.
Yeah.
Yep.
These kids are something else.
But the deal was, and
why are these stepmom videos on my computer? What the hell is this about? Boy, come in here.
You know what they are.
Oh, man.
That was actually a joke from Family Guy, ladies and gentlemen. Do not think that means anything about me. I'm just saying. It was on TV.
Just saying.
Just saying.
But, you know, normally, and he wasn't the first one to bring the PC in because the deal, part of the class was if you wanted to bring your home PC in, we would help you clean it up and run through the steps and everything. It was a learning experience.
Yeah.
And I would have normally went looking for that type of stuff, but Turk was just so adamant and everything. And when I lit him up, he went, "Oh my God!" He said, "I'm gonna kill that boy." Blah blah blah. I said, "Go home and tell him not to do it no more. It's not uncommon." To do
Yeah.
But you see, he keeps throwing these names out, throwing people under the bus, right?
I know, man.
Why didn't he say the whole man's name?
I ain't telling Ron shit.
Look, you don't want him. You don't want nobody.
That
to
was
know.
over.
Don't you?
Don't tell Ron.
That was 20 years ago.
Well, that means his son is like in his 40s and pissed off right now.
Yeah.
Tales from the Lounge. Follow us now.
And Turk was a nickname, so I mean, I didn't even mention his last name. So
All right, so since the name, because I remember when I was on the show, your show, when you first started, we was in that hot ass garage.
Yes, honey.
Man,
Yes.
I remember that one like crazy. But so
I'm gonna start doing those from the garage again.
for real,
Yeah,
I think
for
it's
real.
cool that you go around to like a lot of the different
Different-
lounges and stuff, and
Yeah.
that you do that. Like, that was a big dilemma for me when this space got taken over during the remodel.
Yeah.
Is I've always been very, very loyal to ICC and grateful for not only the fact that they let me do this as part of my membership, but me doing this started from, Brandon asking me to be on a show. So, man, I struggled with that route at first. But it's funny because I posted a question about that, and it was Pops and everybody go do one at Good Cigar, go do one here, go do one there. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could. It felt so weird to me, though. Even when my really good friends let me go up to the Monarch Stag and we were doing it there, we did it there for, man, almost 3 months off and on, that we did it up there with my good friends up there.
Well, the cool thing
that was really cool.
There's plenty, and I hope I don't step on any of your buddies' toes, but there's plenty of competition out there. There's plenty of customers out there, and every lounge has something different and stuff that you're going to find there that you're not going to find here. Viso carries some cigars that ICC doesn't. Good Cigar carries cigars that ICC doesn't. And if you're looking for other stuff to smoke and everything, you got to look around. Now I would never try to do the show from Cigar International, but that's because
That's absolutely a no-go.
Yeah.
Unless you do it during the day when it's not so crowded and you can actually find a place to sit.
Man, I don't.
But if
that
you're talking
patio ain't
about-
open, I'm not rolling in there like that.
It's nuts.
Not my jam.
I just call it Club CI because that's just kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have one DJ, sometimes it's two.
How do you have two DJs at the same time?
I don't know, but they do.
I mean, unless they're having a battle.
Sometimes an industrial.
I
at
Cigar
CI.
International.
I'll be there this Sunday with another DJ.
Yeah, but because y'all having a battle.
Nah, just he does 30 minutes, I do 30 minutes.
Okay,
just-
so you
you just
switching
switch off
off.
and on.
Switch off back and forth.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen that.
I guess that
Yeah,
makes
I've seen you
sense.
do that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all it is. I'll be there this Sunday doing that. Otherwise, if it's a DJ
My
battle,
Taylor Swift is better than your Taylor
you
Swift.
would never in my lifetime see me play a fucking Taylor Swift record ever. You can't even pull it
Are
up.
we anti-Taylor Swift?
No, that shit is just whack to me.
Okay.
I'm not anti Taylor Swift, but just no.
So you outside of Tales from the Lounge, your day job is IT.
Well, it was. I'm currently unemployed, looking for a job.
All right.
It's
and
still IT. You're just
Yeah,
not
you're
doing
still
it for
IT.
somebody.
Come
Because of
on.
IT, come
I
on
mean,
now.
people need an IT work on here.
Yeah,
Let's
maybe
go.
you can just start your own business and
That
doing
part.
IT
That
work.
part.
I mean,
Yes.
this is probably a good
I had one
opportunity
in
and time
Tyler.
to do.
Ron Inc.
America's
Yeah,
Most
yeah.
Wanted.
Actually, it was
what do you
Hancock-
have on your computer?
Hancock Computers. Yeah.
Ron will
Look at
talk
that.
about it on
You ever thought
Tales
about
from the
that?
Lounge.
Cleaning people's computers. Something. I mean, like, dude, if you have a skill set, that-
Homeowners don't want to pay for it. That's the deal. That's the problem. I ran a $3,000 Yellow Page ad back in the day, and I
said
got
Yellow
one
Page.
call, and they were having problems with the system. And I told it's going to be $50. Oh, well, you can't tell me how to fix it over the phone? No.
but you can get a YouTube channel and tell them monetize it.
Dude, your camera is doing funky shit.
Did he do the balloons again?
It did?
Now it's like
That's not the camera.
Now it looks like we got a terrorist video here coming live from somewhere on here, like somebody's about to get beheaded or
I don't know
something.
what's going on with it, dude. Like,
Me saying that probably just definitely got us dropped
Oh,
somewhere
my
already.
gosh.
I saw that one time on a video. I downloaded what was supposed to be
that's YouTube. It's not.
Well, I know,
system.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
but
It did balloons about 10 minutes ago.
I
Yeah,
know,
it
that
did.
was weird.
Balloons.
I don't remember. I was downloading something back in the dial-up days. When I finally got it
Is it going black?
downloaded and opened it, it was an execution.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But see, like, I still don't get that. Like, Jake Paul, like, that dude, like, got banned for, like, the suicide forest in, like, China or something, and he went and, like, actually filmed it. And, like, that got him, like, that's what blew him up. And then like now the dude's fighting Mike Tyson.
I know. I was gonna say this is the same one that's
hope
fighting Mike Tyson.
Now, if you're talking about it being
Say you-
fuzzy, that's just because the streaming here is horrible right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fuzziness from our great beloved
You mean
AT&T.
He's gonna get his ass whooped by Mike.
I don't know, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if them. I hope these bullshit rules I heard aren't real. Like he gets to wear headgear and can't be hit in certain parts. Mike should literally go in there after gnawing on a raw chicken bone or something, and like let it. Have you ever seen that movie Unleashed with Jet Li when he has the collar on and he lets it off? That needs to be Mike.
Yeah.
Well, he quit smoking weed because he was like, I need to bring the anger back. I was like,
Who, Mike said that?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Mike's not smoking weed to get ready for this
so
fight. I was like, Grandpa is going to
whip that
murder
ass.
him.
Here's what's going to
He's
happen.
going to whip that ass.
Mike's
That's
going
what
to
he's
get
gonna
one
do.
solid
Like young
hit
buck.
on him.
You want
and
some of this
knock
old
him
shit?
out.
Uppercut. That's
Yeah.
all Mike needs is that uppercut.
And
it's a wrap.
if it's I can't hit him there, all he's got to do is hit him square in the chest really hard one time, collapse his lungs, and
Oh
he'll
my
be
God.
out.
Yeah, Jake ain't been hit.
I mean, those
He ain't
body
been hit yet.
shots and
No, he
stuff,
ain't been
man.
hit yet.
Like, it's gonna be crazy. So, what do you do outside of Tales from the Lounge?
So I work for a mortgage company
Okay.
during the day, and then at night I do home health care.
Awesome.
She's also a part-time ambassador for the color purple.
Yes, that too.
The word purple is being brought to you by Rhonda.
I got my purple earrings on today.
Oh, Lord.
My purple flowers today.
Lord.
You know,
You
my
ever
lips
got
are always
Ron-
purple.
Well, you didn't get Ron on this train?
No, he got his own earrings in there.
I
his
know.
I'm not a
He's
purple
got
guy.
two. But yeah, that's what I do. That's my day to day.
If
So
you were
what
to
was
do,
it that brought you into wanting to do this and like co-hosting and stuff like that? Like,
Well, for
where
me,
was
is
your
when
interest?
I mean, I was doing it when Chris couldn't, when he was doing like the bourbon stuff. You know, like they
when he
had the
was chasing that girl that he was talking about earlier.
Well, before that, you know, he was doing the bourbon stuff up here too, and it happened to be on a Wednesday. It had to be Wednesdays, and so
Yeah.
I would just sit in for him on those, you know, just on those days. And then when he asked me to be permanent, I was like, well, okay, why not? Because believe it or not, I'm really a shy person, and I'm really camera shy too.
bullshit.
Wait, no, you two will not do that to me.
Where's that little kid? Bullshit.
Bullshit.
I am. But what this has done is it has just brought out the, you know, the feistiness in that.
No, I just letting other people see how you really are anyway, because they ain't here around you.
Yeah, that's true. I'm a little
Exactly.
feisty anyway. But I'm chill. I'm cool. I'm mellow. So
I almost said the apple didn't fall far from the tree either, because I met her daughter up here hanging out with her too, and they were going to war with people in some Jeopardy.
Jeopardy of all things.
Yes.
Jeopardy brought out some
The
demons.
They sure did. And my daughter is super, super, super smart, and she's very competitive, and she hates to lose.
Yeah.
Hates to lose. So she's very, very competitive. She's like, when I said the answer and I gave her an answer wrong answer, she's like, Mom, that's a wrong answer. You should have let me answer. I was like, you're right. You should have, because you've been answering all these questions, right?
I remember because Hensley was losing his mind because it was like Sarah and Hensley were like, and then y'all came back up and y'all were right there. Oh, that was a great night up here. Lots of fun.
We have lots of fun.
I wish people would do more. Like, I would love to do an adult game night somewhere and do that again.
Yeah,
just to-
that's cool.
Yeah.
I just, as long as it ain't Monopoly, because I mollywop everybody.
How about some Uno?
You don't want. I took state in Uno. You don't want
Honey,
that.
I
went
have.
to- I'm
Let's
D1
get it
classified.
then. We're gonna have to play some Uno because that is my favorite card game.
You be drawing 75 messing
look,
with me. No.
We
ain't playing the new real rules.
I got a mean Uno game myself. I even have the original Uno cards, like 3 sets of them.
Like the ones from when Uno, whenever it was created.
When we was young,
Okay.
back in the day, when the back of the card was black and white, like the original Unos.
We are the
If I
same
had a
age.
spades partner, I'd be going for spades.
What's up? What's happening?
I mean, I'm down for that.
We can definitely do that.
If my little brother does move back, I mean, I'm down to throw
I got
bones with
cards in
about
my
anybody with my
backpacks.
little
What's
brother.
happening?
So my bestie Vicky, she loves dominoes and spades. She gets down with those two games.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
hell yeah.
My black card got pulled because I don't know how to play dominoes.
Me neither. And North
What?
Spades.
I
And
do
North
not know how to
Spades.
play bones. I don't.
Give me a pack of Uno cards, honey. And
Spades, I kill you. In spades,
It's over.
I'm all day. I
Let's
can
get
memorize the
My
deck.
grandfather made fun of me so bad because my grandparents on my dad's side, that's all I did. They came in town. My parents then played spades all the time.
Better watch them
We
bones and
played-
let's get
Like,
going.
they'd be
We
playing
played-
spades. I'm like, I want to play. I want to learn. So then they finally taught me because my Nana would be like, all right, I'm kind of tired. Like, why don't you play? Or my mom would back out, and then like I could play with my Nana, and we would take on my dad and my grandfather. Well, they taught me the game, right? Very first time I'm finally getting to sit at the big adult
The
table.
adult table. You was adulting
I'm
that night.
adulting,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I get to play spades. All right, this is on. They deal it out, and I go, "What was that? What you call that thing?" Like, because they're asking how many are you gonna take? And I said, "What was that? Oh, I'm gonna shoot the moon." They both set their hands down and looked at me like, "There's no way." I'm like, "No, I really am." Like, they're like, "This is your first. I've never even successfully done that in all the years I've been playing." I'm like, "I'm telling you right now, I'm going to shoot the moon."
Did your partner look at you and be
My
like,
Nana's
"Nigga,
like, "I think he can do it,"
Okay.
and she's like, "Let's go." And my dad and grandfather, they were determined. Like, he ain't doing this to us on his first game. Let me tell you, I shot the moon my very first game of spades, and we took every trick on that board, every single one of them.
We called it a sookie.
I
sucky
murdered it.
Looky,
I mean,
looky, I got
did
a
y'all play
sookie.
No, this is
just a
family
family,
game,
yeah,
but like
okay.
it was super bad. I mean, like they kept running towards like there was these notepads that stayed in the drawer, and like when
Just
they
for
came
space.
back, like they kept score, like like this was legit. Like we're up, your mom and Nana are up, 3 games to us last time. Now we're up. I mean, they had running like.
Did you guys play like sandbags and all that? If you get so many over that you
we
bid
did.
and you run it, but you have to lose 100 and all that stuff.
Yeah.
No, we
So
didn't. have
basically,
that.
if you say you bet 5 books and you get 6, that extra book is a sandbag, and once you get up to 10 of them, you lose 100 points.
there was
off
no
your score.
money involved.
No,
so-
no, that's just your score.
But that's just a score.
That's your score, your points. So if you don't
Oh,
bid
yeah.
what you have in your hand and you slough
we
some
played-
off or whatever,
We
you get
played
sandbag.
every day at lunch in the military.
See, that's where I learned how to play in the
Yeah.
army.
We played.
I couldn't
every
play with a
day at
family
lunch.
member like Nana and them because there's a lot of cussing, there's a lot of
yeah.
crap talking.
Yeah.
I'm throwing cards at people like it's bad.
I mean, the
It's
last
animated.
few hairs my grandfather had on his head, I guarantee you he lost them that night when I shot the moon on my first hand. He was beside himself. Like, they didn't even want to play anymore. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
my
Like, let's
God.
go. Like, this is my first time. Like,
You want to get in there and start playing.
Yeah. See, my
That's 'cause
mom
you
and
showed
them-
them up, and so now they're like, oh, we're not playing with him no more.
My mom and them play bid whist. I have no clue how to
I
play
know.
that.
That seems to be the thing. I don't even know
It's
how to
just
play
like
it.
spades. I'm like, if it ain't spades, I don't know what it is.
my
But
little
they-
brother, this is a true story. So, like, when my dad was in the hospital right before he passed, my little brother had never been taught how to play spades. And he really didn't show any interest in it early on. And, like,
Your brother, you one in Hawaii?
The one in Hawaii, yeah, TJ. I wasn't letting him in. I'm like, you don't get to come to the adult table. Like, this is, nah.
Oh, just because you got to the adult table, you don't want your brother to
Oh,
partake in
hell
that?
no.
Ooh, you still-
That's
Oh.
a sibling rivalry
that,
right
yeah,
there.
We're 2.5 years apart. Like, no,
Shoot. He
back,
can't sit at the big boy table?
no, not back then. Not back then. But true story, like I was supposed to stay the night that night with my dad at the hospital, and my little brother had been up there all afternoon. And when I called, my dad was teaching him how to play spades. Like he had finally wanted to learn.
That's
and
sweet.
so I was like, you know what? I'll come up tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I've got a poker game that evening for a little bit. I was like, I'll come up beforehand. I'll go play poker, and then I'll come back and stay with
Right.
dad. Like, no big deal. It ended up being his last night, but like my little brother learned and sat and played spades with my dad all night.
Oh,
and
that's
my little
nice.
brother has I'm not kidding you, like a spades tattoo from like here to here on his arm.
Oh, wow.
It's like a tribute
A
tattoo.
tribute, yeah, to your
and it's
dad.
like the old badass like Hoyle or Doyle card, like
Yeah.
this ace of spades, and it's all like decked out. It's really badass. But like,
Love
yeah, spades runs pretty deep in our family.
Well, I don't know, man. We might have to go get some cards when this broadcast is over. And
Yeah,
say,
well-
oh, Rhonda, you can't play though, can you?
No, I cannot.
Oh, Purple. What's going on with you?
But you got some cards in your bag.
You're so good. We'll just put her on your team. Me and Ron will take you two.
I'm good,
Just play-
man. But
just the
yeah,
three
but
y'all
you know,
just play. You don't
sometimes if
have
you
a
get that ugly hand, you may need some help, and I need to make sure my partner knows what to do with it.
Well, I can't help you because I don't know what to do with it.
All right. Well,
Not the spades cards anyway. But anyway, what next?
yeah. Well, before I forget, because I'll get beat up for this later on, like a segment everybody likes on here, similar to y'all, is like, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? So What are we smoking? I think everybody
Everybody.
right now started off. So, Principles Cochon Volant just came back in. There might be 4 or 5 still left up front if you didn't already get them. So, I don't know. You might be out of luck.
Might be.
They're in.
I tried not to buy them all. I really did.
Me too. I tried my damnedest.
How many boxes you buy? 2?
I bought 2 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you, like, avid cigar smokers, like the Cochon Volant that Darren Chaffee does is a phenomenal smoke.
It's
a great stick.
This is one of my favorite sticks. And not only is it awesome, it's so damn hard to get.
Oh, absolutely.
They come in, and I think we get all of them. And if we don't, we get 90% of them.
Yeah.
And there's such a limited amount of them, and they are gone in days.
The night
Yeah, you
flight
can't
it
even-
takes that over me. Like when I got the night flight, I was like, all right, that's
Oh yeah, the night flight's even worse.
top 3 for
That's
me.
pops.
Somebody's car's on fire.
What?
Black pickup truck.
Hey man, don't be playing.
Oh shoot! It's not. He's giving the tour.
Man. Always gotta have jokes.
Yes, that's fine.
No, I was about to be happy. I've been wanting a Raptor for a minute.
Yeah.
I was
see,
like, I was gonna throw
the-
some alcohol on
Let
it.
it burn,
The
huh? Just let it burn.
I already bought one this week. I can buy another one. Trust me.
The wifey got a new ride. Cool Beans got her a new
Yeah,
ride.
Cool
What did she get?
She got the big L.
The Lexus.
Yeah, and I'm
The
still
550, or is it 350?
350.
That's my next one.
It's a
But I don't want to
350.
trade my car in because it's already paid off
So it's the size
to get another one and then have car payment. So I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So compared to what we used to drive, what you still drive, it's
Yeah.
the size of an Avalon.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Oh
It's-
yeah, they are nice. They're really nice. Like literally, I told Clarissa, I kind of want this new
Yeah.
Lexus out here.
It's
So Cochon Volant's what we're smoking. And then the next one we've got here is the Panda. I don't know how many of these y'all have smoked yet, but
Yeah, I've smoked
I
a-
absolutely love these.
I smoked
Oh,
a few.
they're
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Panda.
The Connecticut one that he had, the Domino.
Domino.
Yep.
God, I wish I'd have bought a box of those before they're gone.
They out here?
I thought everybody was gonna sleep on those.
No, those are
You
going
know,
quick.
They were gone within 2 days, but they
I don't
only
even-
had like I think 3 boxes of them.
I didn't have any either, so
Yeah, the Domino was amazing.
is it?
It's a Connecticut wrapper, but it does not smoke like any Connecticut you've ever did. Like I don't know what Luciano and Panda did with that thing, but it was absolutely amazing.
They infused magic. Is what they
I
Well,
was about
when
to say the
anytime
same thing.
Luciano pairs with somebody is should be good. I mean, even if he
Tell me
doesn't.
something he's done bad. Like I legit like would challenge anybody to show me something that Luciano did that was bad. Like he has elevated everybody else that's in his game.
Yeah.
Like that comes to him. Like you
Yeah.
were saying. Like I mean, whether it's Jaman with DC and the Genesis, like that's an
That's a
amazing
phenomenal
smoke.
stick.
Phenomenal. Panda.
Foreign
Delay.
Affair.
I mean, Foreign Affair with
Foreign
Frankie.
Affair.
I mean, like, just like, that's what I love about Luciano. Like, he's not only elevating himself, he's elevating all those around him.
Right. And he's such a humble man.
Whew.
Him and Darren need to make something together.
Rumor
Now
has it
that-
that's in the works. Like,
now that would be
Pops has been pushing that
A
for
great
long time,
collaboration.
and that would be something
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll buy a box of that right out the gate without.
I'll
even
mortgage
smoking.
a house.
They're very two interesting.
What you say? You gonna mortgage your
fellas.
house?
I said I'd mortgage a house.
Oh Lord. Well, look here. Y'all can mortgage the houses if you want to, but I'm not mortgaging mine.
Well, I tell well, you know
What
what?
about the car?
I joke.
No, it's paid off. Shoot, look. Let me tell you that the only reason why I do not have that Lexus now is because I don't want a car payment.
Amen.
My-
I don't blame
my
you.
2020
I don't blame you.
XSC 6-cylinder is paid off. I'm
Now,
not
let me-
worrying about that.
Let me tell you what Darren. Let me tell
Yeah,
you what
I
Darren
like-
does to me
no.
every time he shows up. Every time he shows up, I got to take out a personal loan.
Well,
buy
yeah,
a whole
because
bunch of
you
sticks.
buying you the one that buying up all the shit so people can't get it.
Trying to be
See,
Elliot, Ron.
and
No,
see,
no.
That's the problem.
Just to get a
'cause-
bare minimum. I mean,
No.
Look at Christmas. He comes in, he brings the bauble, and then he brings 2 other releases. And I mean, you know, just to get a box of each is
$200.
well, each, you know, so I'm looking at almost $1,000 for cigars just for Christmas. And then he came out with the Time to Burn, which I had to buy a box of those because I named the damn things.
They did.
So, you know.
No, I actually was sitting in that tasting, and he did throw that out there.
Ron, you get credit for naming that cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was dope.
Darren even mentioned it when they did the release of the Maduro the other day. Last visit.
That's a fun fact I did not know.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were back here for a VIP session. Josh was here.
It was Josh's first one
ever. And he was talking about the dolls and everything, and I said, "What are you going to name that one?" He goes, "I don't have one yet."
The internet sucks.
And he goes, I said, "Well, you need to name it the Time to Burn. You got the money to burn. You need the time to burn." And then about 8 months later, he sent me a picture of the box that had Time to Burn on it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will be catching this episode all over Spotify here because YouTube is even sucked. Like the internet is just on yuck today.
Okay, so is the internet with AT&T?
I don't think so. AT&T is the worst.
Yeah, AT&T
It's
is pretty
the
bad.
worst.
It's pretty
Period.
bad.
But I don't know what's going on. So, but this is live. It's super in HD, Dolby Atmos, beautifully on Spotify when it gets released here in a couple of days. So
It'll be all good.
it'll be all good. So just hang with us the best.
So what's
you can.
everybody drinking? I'm doing the Weller 107 since they got a bottle of that up here.
Oh, I did see that on the counter. I'm drinking an old fashioned.
We're both
It's special.
drinking
Yeah.
old
It's
fashioned.
special.
Yes,
It's
and it's a
special.
special old fashioned that Andrew made. Initially, it was supposed to be for me, but he walked in, so he wanted one too. So I'm sharing.
I was offered. I said I wanted an old fashioned,
Why
and
don't
he goes, "Do you want that
critique it?
smoke?"
Tell us about this old fashioned. What you think about it?
That's good.
It's
Roast
great.
Andrew.
It's
What
what he
makes
did
it
is
special?
He smoked it.
well because he smoked it.
He smoked it with what did he say?
Like
Pipe tobacco, cedar.
Yeah, but part of it was Patoro XO,
XO,
Yeah.
13-year-old.
Yeah.
13-year-old
13-year-old
Patoro XO tobacco, and then cedar. And I was like, "Holy crap!" And I couldn't say no when he said Patoro. I was like, "Well, hell yeah!"
And so the way that he did this time, normally, when you get a smoked old fashioned, they come with that thing on the top, like the little glass thing on the top. No. So what he did was he smoked the glasses in it,
and then poured the liquor in.
and then poured the liquor in, and like you can really taste it through the glass.
Yeah.
So you're not getting all that smoke, but you're getting what you really need to have is the flavor of it.
And I'm calling him out because this is like first time in a long time. Biz is not drinking a Shirley Temple tonight, y'all.
Oh,
He
what?
got him a margarita.
Shirley Temples? Is that what you be on lately? Shirley?
Roy Rogers.
But I call it Shirley Temple.
It's Roy Rogers. It's normally just
He make himself sick on grenadine before he touched it.
Now wait a minute. In his defense, I very rarely order a drink here. What I do is I walk in and I just tell one of the bartenders, make me something. And they make me a cocktail of some kind. And I have not had a bad drink yet. But, they get it and it looks orange or it's got some yellow in it or whatever. And people go, "Well, what is that?" I said, "I don't know."
Yeah.
And I said, "Go ask the bartender. He made it." And about half the time they're saying, "Oh, no, I just made that up on the fly."
Yeah.
So we got some
they
good
got some-
bartenders
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, there's legit bartenders.
Yeah.
I really thought
Yeah.
tonight I love fucking with Riley. Like Riley, to
Yeah.
mess with Riley is a lot of fun.
He was here today, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, he
because
just
when I was
left.
pulling up, I seen him leave, and I was like, is he just going to go hang out in his car, or is he really leaving?
No,
Then-
he was leaving, but he goes, "I will buy this for you if you don't like it." And I was like, "Okay, what are you
Okay.
making?" He said, "A double oak Woodford margarita."
Oh,
He
yes. I've
He
had
made me
what?
one of those,
Yes,
too.
I've had that too.
That
And I was
was-
like, "Yep, bring
ding
it," because I want to. I was like, "This is a perfect opportunity. I'm gonna get a clown Riley on this." Like, because I just got his Facebook, which he goes by Bubba on there.
Okay, Bubba.
I was really laughing about that, and I was gonna give this a funny Bubba name for this drink. I'm not gonna lie, this shit did not suck. It was really.
It was good.
It was really good. I had one last
good.
night.
It's good.
I had
It
one
was
last
like
night.
a little bit of simple syrup, double oak Woodford, and a little bit of margarita mix, and had him do a little bit of tahini with it, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I've had one. I've had one.
Very solid.
Pretty damn good. So I Sunday for the first time tasted that Cajillo drink. Cajillo
Yeah.
drink. That sucker was good. Like I'm not a
I've
coffee
had that.
I'm not a coffee person.
All it
but
is
it's like
is
a double espresso.
and liquor 43,
Okay.
It was good.
and it was good.
So that's caramely coffee. That's,
Yep.
Yeah. Right. in the
But she
middle.
doesn't drink coffee, and it's more of like a what a latte. You know.
Okay.
I mean,
It was
but
good.
it's a double espresso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had Taco juice. You were on fire, I bet.
But she talks a lot anyway.
Don't get punched on the show now.
That would be a first.
Yeah, we haven't had any violence yet on the show.
Any violence on the show yet. I mean, this might
That's
be the
because
one
you
that
haven't
goes
had
viral.
Brandon and Dave on the same show because they smack each other all the time.
Yeah.
Or they used to on the Saturday at the shops. It was hilarious. That I mean,
So,
almost
That's our
every other
Easter
week.
egg. That's actually our Easter egg show. Is
We got to find it.
Well, yeah, you got to
Yeah.
find it because the very first show we did
Should be
was
in there.
all three Frakes brothers.
Yeah.
But there was no video. Like, the video
What?
did not work. So it's all audio. And I swear I was like, I'm getting kicked off in the very first episode because Brandon and Andrew started, like, tag teaming Nate. And, like, before you know, the R word got thrown around, like, multiple times.
Oh my God.
And, like, my wife is, like, texting me. She's like, you can't say that on there. And I'm like, well, they were referring to each other. And I was like, this is absolutely insane. But, yeah, that's our actual Easter egg. Like, you have to go find it. But, like, all three Frakes brothers. We keep saying we're going to run this back soon. But, like, getting all three of them together at the same time is
Yeah, it's officially dubbed as episode 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Episode 0.
Episode 0. So,
Because you have
question
no visual.
for all three of you.
Yes.
Where is the most interesting place you've smoked a cigar? Garrett, we'll start with you. Man about town.
Most interesting place
Yeah, like
to
you,
me.
you had this cigar and it just really made you sit back and just be like, damn.
Man.
Oh, yeah, I got you.
I
I got you.
like a double answer to this. And I wish I could remember it exactly, but I love Pops' quote on this. Like,
Yes.
this may not be the best cigar I've ever smoked, but this is the best cigar in this situation that I've ever smoked.
Fair enough. Yeah, because
And
it's
I
not
think
about the
that's-
cigar. It's more about the moment.
Yeah,
I'm in.
because
Yeah.
it's definitely about the moment. Like, and I've definitely had a couple of those. I'm gonna say the first one that really, this is really what kicked me back off on cigars because I was a very, very casual cigar smoker. Like, out with a client on a golf course or this.
But never on your own.
No, I would have never have walked into a cigar shop, bought a cigar, even known where to start. Like, that never happened. But when my wife and I got married in Aruba, we were there for pretty much 2.5 weeks almost.
Nice.
So we did the first week with everybody, the wedding, and then we stayed another week after everybody left and did our honeymoon there. And very early on, we were walking the beach and from that hotel, you just kind of walk down the beach and there was a pier that went out, had amazing food and drinks, and you could watch sunset. It was just a beautiful, serene setting. And just before you got to the pier bridge that walked out, there was a guy that had a little tiny stand of cigars, and I bought a Cohiba and actually got a legit and I remember thinking it was crazy too because it was $40 and I was like, I just want a really good cigar. This is my wedding week, yada yada yada. And he's like, I don't normally sell these. He's like, this is actually what I keep for me. And he went behind his little thing and pulled out these Cohibas. He's like, if it's your wedding week, you need to smoke
Oh,
one
you
of
need to
these.
smoke one of those. Absolutely.
And he gave me a Cohiba, and I was like, I think I bought 2 of them. And Sarah and I smoked one a little bit while we were sitting out on the pier. Had a nice little coconut shrimp and just nice little evening watching the sunset. And then we went back to the hotel, and we're out on our they had upgraded us for our honeymoon suite with the wedding package there.
Yeah.
So we had this beautiful patio overlooking the sunset and everything, and like we just sat out there and like she even like tried it and was like we were like sharing that cigar. So like that's probably I'm gonna say number one for me.
So what's the second one?
Second one I'm gonna say was shortly followed after that when we were in when I went to Costa Rica with some guys on a guide trip for work, and I caught this amazing sailfish, and it was like out in the middle of the ocean. It was like the weirdest experience because everybody was making fun of me the night before. It's like I can get seasickness, but I don't. It's real hit or miss with me. Like I'd be out 10 times and not get sick at all, and then this one time I'm gonna get sick as hell.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So I do the bracelets. I start pumping Dramamine like a couple days before.
Oh, so you don't
haven't
get
done the
seasick.
patch yet. I'm gonna do that next time. But like, I'd go prepared. These guys are clowning me all night. Like, the girl's taking his Dramamine, like cute little bracelet and all this stuff. And like, guess what? I'm the only one that didn't get sick.
See?
And this was like the calmest, weirdest water I've ever been on. We went like 20 or 30 miles out to sea to go marlin and sailfish fishing. And when we got out there, this was the calmest, most glass water I've ever seen on a lake or anything.
Oh wow.
And the sun's coming up and the sunrise is coming up. I mean, it was just absolutely beautiful. They're all puking off the back of the boat. I'm up front just watching this, and I brought a cigar, and like I was just sitting there smoking the cigar on this like pristine glass water, and then like we start seeing sailfish fly out of the water and stuff. Like it was amazing. So that's probably my top two.
Rhonda.
You're up.
You can go ahead and go. Save the best for last.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell two.
And I'm gonna bet money.
Okay.
I want to make a prediction.
Go ahead.
Hers involves crux. I'm just gonna guess.
Well,
You know it does.
I guess about 4 years ago, me and several of the guys here went to Cuba. Mm-hmm. And probably smoking cigars in Cuba was probably the
Was
best.
this the Nelson Alfonso trip?
No.
You going
No.
out with
No.
all them? Okay.
No.
No, it was him,
That,
Chris,
the Nelson
and Dustin.
Alfonso David trip inspired that trip. But it was me, Chris Pennington,
Dustin.
Dustin, Mark McClurkin, and what's his name? Carlos. And so we went, and every night we sat. I'd rented an Airbnb that had 4 bedrooms. Each one had their own baths on the water.
You and Chris didn't share bunk beds?
No, we did not. Chris and Dustin did. Chris and Dustin shared a bed.
What you doing over there, busy?
Under the bus. So,
That's
about
why
the
you just
movies,
keep
but we-
throwing people out.
Thinking about the
we
movie
bought-
Step Brothers.
we bought Cuban rum, and we sat on the front porch, listening to the water, and smoking cigars, drinking rum, and that was just phenomenal. And the second one is just here recently. Rhonda and I were actually in Longview, Texas, at Tobacco Junction, and one of my dear friends, Nathan Linsizen, he's not an expert on cigars, but he's been smoking them a lot more here lately, and I've been helping him out. And I gave him a Black Ritos.
Yes.
Ooh.
He was.
That you now
head-
you know this is a
Yeah.
really good friend.
Yeah.
He is.
He
I'll
was
tell you how
just
good
in
a friend.
heaven.
I gave him 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got.
So he smoked the
I-
first.
Has he ever given you 2, Rhonda?
He's giving me cigarettes. Cigars. A lot.
But did he give you 2 Black Ritos?
No, he did not.
Okay, just curious.
No, he did not.
I'm gonna keep feeding this animal tonight.
Yeah. No, he did not. And I know he has a box in his locker because he can't help
But
himself.
it's only about a half a box by now.
Yeah, see, because he just.
But it blew his
I did get
mind.
1, but I didn't get 2.
Right. But
And I think we smoked it on one of our shows too.
There you
so
go.
I didn't
So-
even get to keep it.
But it blew his mind, and he literally said, this is the most phenomenal smoke I've ever had.
Hands down, that's my
Hands
favorite
down.
It's a
cigar.
great stick. I mean,
Hands down, that's my favorite cigar.
And
That's
seeing
Adelaide.
his joy enjoying the cigar
Mm-hmm.
made the whole experience.
Terry and I almost had a fight when Luciano was here the last day he was here recently of trying to give Luciano a Black Ritos.
oh wow.
And I can't wait to hear what Luciano thought of that, because I was like, I know Luciano's very open, and like the words Luciano can use to express himself is like amazing to me. Like he is one of the most well-spoken, thought out, like, and you just see that like when he's sitting with you. And I was like, I would love to I wish he'd had more time. I would have smoked one with him just to like have that
Well,
experience.
and I heard something interesting, statistic the other day. People in the, I want to say the early to late 1900s and early 2000s had a vocabulary of about 35,000 words. We're down to 5,000 for the average person, and we've lost our ability to use words because we're just not learning them anymore. There's not enough required reading in school. There's not enough,
It's all this short-term, fast, instant gratification. This like
exactly.
the same thing with the show. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this. Like, I'm long. You guys do an hour. I always do close to 2 hours, and the short form content is what's actually starting to really boost our show growth and stuff. Now is like you got to do that, like
I've
because
been
like
thinking about cutting ours to 45 minutes.
yeah,
But part of the deal is I want the guest to enjoy the cigar. I want them to get well into the cigar during the show, so that
that's the hardest thing. Like, how do you? I want to before you tell your top two, I want to touch on that a little bit more, because that's like the hardest thing, I think, because I spend more time smoking with my guests like pretty much after the show because and they get to talking and whatnot, and like, their cigar goes out or whatever. They don't want to just keep lighting it or whatnot. Like, I feel like they don't get to enjoy it near as much. Like, rarely, I will bet you out of, what do you want to say, Biz? Out of 63 episodes or so now, I will bet you the average guest maybe finishes one cigar. I'll bet you only a handful have ever got to the second
Will
one.
was the first one to light a second.
Yeah, but he's a pro. Like, he's a professional cigar smoker.
He's and in my brain, the only one I've really ever seen unwrap and get to the second one.
Well, see, that was the beauty when I was shooting in the garage, because when I was shooting in the garage back in McKinney, when you came in, you showed up. The show was at 7. You showed up about 6:15, and I had dinner ready. We sat and had dinner, and we chatted and talked about what we were going to talk about on the show and everything. And then we went and did the show, and then afterwards we sat in the garage and finished up our cigars and chatted. I had a change of hours, and that's why I had to move the show from 7 to 8.
Yeah.
And I really hate the 8 o'clock time slot. I'd rather move it back to 7. I may do that, but the whole deal of getting together and breaking bread and having a casual conversation. And Jamon was just amazed that I allowed him in my home to have dinner. To him that was a big deal, and I said I was more than happy to do it because I was doing it with people I appreciated, people I liked, and it was part of the whole cigar culture. The Cuba trip would have never happened except there was several people that I had met here who wanted to go, and I went with like-minded people, and we had a great time, and that's just all part of it as far as I was concerned.
That's on my top list of places to go in the near future. Like,
You go, I go.
Well, as soon as they right when we went, you could bring back whatever you wanted. Now they've locked it down, and you can't bring back anything. And until they loosen the restrictions,
I don't need to bring
on
back
that,
nothing. We can smoke it all there.
Just smoke it all there so you can have that experience.
Yep.
You
Well,
smoke all those sticks right there.
I know people that could get that back if I really needed to get that back.
You got some mules that can get it back for
Well,
us.
I mean, like,
I don't want to know where they're putting it.
no, but I mean, let's
Oh
be
my
honest. Like, I mean, there's so many cigars that like don't get talked about. Like, it's rumored it might have some Cuban tobacco in it, but like, I get tired of hearing everybody like go on these rants about Cuban cigars. Like, I get
think
it.
they're
Back in the
overrated.
day,
Yeah.
Right.
When-
They're overrated now.
all the research
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
done trying to learn about cigars shows that like back when JFK like did the ban, Russia, and then mainly the reason why it happened was because of Russia.
Right.
Russia was putting so much money into Cuba that like they were making those grounds super fertile. They were, I mean, like the nutrients there.
Yep.
That's been so depleted because Russia's not dumping money into Cuba anymore.
Nope.
Right.
Haven't for decades.
And they haven't for decades, like you just said. Like, so Cuban cigars like are not the same as what like people were smoking in the 60s and 70s and all that was like super great
Well,
that everybody
take
fell in love
that-
with.
Let's take that a step further. What you've got to remember is when Castro took over and made everything communist and blah, 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 what he also lost was motivation of the workers to do a good job. And all of the old blenders and rollers that Cuba had have retired and or died off
Or deflected to other
or
countries.
defected, and now all they've got is a bunch of workers who get paid $25 to $35 a month to roll cigars and to blend, and they'll be upfront with you. You buy a box of cigars, 5 to 7 of those are going to be unsmokable because they weren't rolled properly.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that the blending has dropped off because they can't produce enough tobacco anymore to support their orders. And so they're getting tobacco from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic, so they're no more Cuban than anybody else.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And people have taken those seeds and everything else and taken them to rainforests and jungles and all these different climates. And now there's just been such an expansion of the cigar world that I think it's like very closed-minded to just be like, I mean, like if you're buying
Yeah.
like pre-embargo
yeah,
sticks
pre-embargo
somewhere, like,
Cubans,
okay,
yeah.
fine.
Oh, yeah.
I get that.
Or anything 10 to 20 years after the embargo,
Yeah.
I'm sure was still good.
Yeah.
But
These
once
days,
Russia,
it's not.
Once Russia dropped their support and all the blenders and rollers retired or died, the quality went down. And
Absolutely.
we smoked Cubans while we were there. And to be honest, they were okay. But the people who were really doing great jobs were people who owned their own lounges or hotels that had lounges where they had their own rollers.
Yeah.
And they were making some phenomenal stuff. We brought back a whole bunch of stuff from Mia Lucia Hotel and some of the other lounges and hotels that we hit. They were making phenomenal stuff. And we brought back as much of that as we did actual Cuban cigars.
Yeah. I think people would be way more.
Well,
I
now
think
that-
they'd be way more inclined and way more on an upper end of their cigar journey to give the boutique guys and some of these guys that are really putting their heart and passion behind it. I truly think
do you know what?
Luciano is going to be like one of the premier cigar guys in the world very soon because he's being so experimental and so, just like Nelson Alfonso, and doing all the little things to like age stuff longer, experimenting with these different wood rooms to age them and dry stuff out and putting them in through a process of this is in a mahogany room, this is in a cedar room, this is in this room, that room.
and using oxygen as a flavor.
Yeah. So, I
know.
think so many people are doing that if you're
But
just...
do you know what the worst thing to
I
happen
feel like
to
chasing
Cuba would be?
Cubans is like chasing tater stickers with bourbon.
Yeah.
Like,
But the worst thing that could happen to the Cuban cigar industry would be for us to lift the embargo. Because there would be an initial rush to get the Cubans, and then once people realized that they were no better or worse, not as good as the stuff coming out of the Nicaraguan Dominican Republic, and their sales would drop.
But if somebody was really, really smart, and this would be like I look at this almost as like legalizing weed. Like, if you actually, like, if there was a plan put in place of we're going to lift the embargo, but on these conditions, like somebody's going to infuse what needs to be infused into Cuba to do that, and you had somebody like Russia, and not necessarily it would have to be Russia, but what if the U.S. even did?
Yeah.
Like, hey, when Castro and all that passes, and you get past all that, and the next generation of whoever's leading that country now comes in and says, all right, we're going to do this, like, but here's the plan. We need to refertilize our grounds. And they did that for 4 or 5 years, knowing that in 5 to 10 years we're going to lift this embargo. Now we've put that back into the country to help them make them truly
but the
great
problem
again.
is they would have to drop their communistic habits and start paying rollers and blenders based on.
Well, that could be part of the deal.
Yeah, that would have to be part of the
But
deal.
you also have to
I mean,
inject back into making those soils very fertile and good again.
Yeah.
Then you're not losing the nostalgia and what everybody thinks is there. Yeah,
Right,
for the first few years, you're going to be buying Cuban cigars that probably pretty much suck.
Yep.
And they'll have that backlog.
And I'll tell you what. And when you go, mark my words, take a perfect draw tool with you. I regretted not taking mine because almost every cigar I smoked, the draw was horrible on it, and I was wishing I had my draw tool to get some airflow through there because the flavors were probably there, but I couldn't get to them.
That's how spoiled I am. I have never done that. I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Oh,
it's easy.
Never done. I'm sure it is. I mean, I know the concept and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I legit have never done that. Never had to do
I've
that. And I'm
very
a
rarely
draw
done it.
whore when it comes to that. Like,
Right.
And
if I'm sitting here talking with y'all and I gotta light this
Now, don't
4
get
or
me
5
wrong.
times,
Yeah.
I am out. That is going in the ashtray.
Yep.
I don't care what
we
cigar
ran
it is.
into. We ran into one at the tasting for the samples. There was one that we got a hold of. I couldn't get shit out of it, and I was like, "Where's my perfect draw tool?" I don't carry one with me because most of the time I don't have a problem. It's 1 in 1,000 that I have a problem out of anything. But I'm not smoking a bunch of Cubans, and if I go to Cuba again, I'm taking a damn perfect draw tool with me.
Good advice. All right. Before we get too far off
Yes.
track and keep doing this, I want to
Rhonda's
hear
gotta
your
jump
top
in.
2 crux stories.
Oh my God.
And he's not sitting behind us this time, so you don't have to
No, I mean.
go. I mean, maybe it's not just crux, but I'm willing to bet
I
at
love
least
Crux.
one of these.
It is.
It is
my-
your cigar.
It's my cig. Yeah, I just love Crux.
She loves, and most importantly, she loves the Bull and Bear.
That is it. That's my all-time favorite stick. That is like I'm always
And
gonna
it's
smoke
a
one.
great cigar.
I'm
I
always
mean,
gonna
I'm
have
not,
one.
and for
It
the
is.
record
Yeah.
here to all the listeners, I am not bashing Crux by any means. I love Crux cigars. I smoke a lot of Crux cigars.
You know what? I honestly could not sit here and even allow you to do that.
Yeah.
Badmouth them.
Shoot,
I would be like,
The violence would come out.
what did you say? No.
Well, I
no.
joke anytime somebody mentions that on the show, we're in for 5 minutes of her talking about the Bull and Bear.
I mean,
Hey,
I
I
still
mean,
like
it's a
bringing it up.
great
Just
stick.
I like bringing it up just because I love that Brandon's like the poster child for Crux. Like after this last PCA,
Oh, yeah.
when his like luxurious face was like all blown up, Mr. Sophistication over there, like that cracked me up.
Well, I'll tell you what, not to take away from the cigars and everything, Brandon did a phenomenal job rebranding
Oh, absolutely.
the line, and that
Go
helped them
local.
so much.
Yep.
Yep.
Go locals. Throw it out there. They do a lot of stuff for me as well as Biz. Like between Biz and Go Locals, I mean, you need some marketing, photography, video.
Yep.
I highly recommend. All right, tell us, give us the juice.
Mine is not all that, not all that. But literally, I took a cruise. Was it last year? I think it was last year. Kind of like a family cruise kind of thing. And none of the people that I was with smoke. Like, they don't smoke. But I had to have my sticks with me, so I figured this ship got to have a smoking spot, right? So I leave them at the bar, and I just go up to because it was deck 5.
Yeah.
Because you can only smoke. There was only one
room,
one floor where you can smoke at, and it's not even inside the ship. It's like you have to be outside. But just sitting in the lounge chairs and smoking a stick and having a drink and just watching the waves of the water was just so beautiful for me.
You know what's funny, and I want to note on this: every single story has involved water. Water and cigar. Like not one of our stories did not involve, like you had to have ocean with you.
Yeah,
But
it's
do
just
you know
so.
why? It adds to the relaxation of the cigar and the experience.
I agree 100%. I'm a water child, so like anything with water, like that's my natural. I want to be around water.
Look, when you're on a cruise and you're just sitting on whatever deck number is designated for smoking, you just can't help but to, one, you're already relaxed because you're away from your phones, away from your computers, when you're cruising. Well, I still keep my phone with me though, because you never know. But anyway, that's just so relaxing just to be sitting out there on the deck, watching the water and smoking a stick. And just be one with yourself. You know what I mean? Just let your mind just think about
All right, I have a challenge for you. The next time you're on vacation,
okay.
I want you to do what it's Sarah and I's rule.
Okay.
Because Sarah is a night owl. I'm the morning person. Mm-hmm. So
you fade fast after a certain time.
Oh yeah. Let's not kid anybody. I'm normally in bed and or asleep before 10 p.m. But I'm also up 5, 6 a.m. Like I'm a morning person.
That's normal. So you'd be in bed by that time.
I need 6 hours is my good zone. Anything less, I am a horrible person to be around. 7 is like excellent. Mm-hmm. More than that, I start turning the other way again. Like I don't need more than 7 hours of sleep. So like 6 is my happy spot. We have a rule. When I wake up in the morning, because I'm in sales, like I still have to check my phone and make sure things are being handled. I don't care what the situation is. Like I have to like have a period of time to do that.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to pay severely for not doing that. And I can't afford that in my job.
No, you can't.
So our rule is this. When I wake up in the morning, I can get my phone out, my laptop. I can do whatever I need to do until she wakes up. Oh. So if she wakes up 8, 9 o'clock, I might have 3, 4 hours.
Yeah.
I take care of my stuff. Usually it takes me 30, 45 minutes. Red dots on my phone drive me absolutely insane. I have to clear that shit out, get it out. Like I cannot. My wife has like, she just cleared it out. She sent me a post because she got stuck on 380. And while stuck on 380, she cleared out like 2,000 emails from her junk email.
Oh, wow.
But her bubble literally says like 2,000. Man, I get 50, 60. I'm losing my mind.
That's
so our rule is that like you have that time till she wakes up. After she wakes up, my phone goes on airplane mode. I still carry my phone so that we can take pictures, whatever. And I may post something or whatnot here and there, but the phone is not going to be my distraction. And I can't tell you, like, at times that drives me mad, but when I fully accepted it and did it, the extra level of actually relaxing, being more creative, I journal, doing all of that stuff was magnified 1,000 times. So I would suggest trying that, like, when you get up first thing, like, do your thing, like, get it out of the way,
right?
put it aside so that you have your sanity. You took care of things. Nothing else that is like dire needs going to happen there, because like in honesty, like, even if you turn it back on later on, like an emergency is still going to come through.
Right? Yeah.
But like you actually get to like detach and be fully relaxed.
Yeah, and that's what we need today in this world. You just need to be relaxed, enjoy yourself, and just relax, and don't take life too serious.
Now, I'm pretty sure you didn't watch last night's show.
I did not.
But we announced we are going to plan a cigar cruise.
Meaning, I am going to plan a cigar cruise.
All right. I'm not big on cruises, but I'm listening.
But I have already reached out to. I have a really good travel agent, and I'm just waiting for her to respond. And I know the cruise line that we're going to go on is called Norwegian. And if anybody's been on Norwegian cruise line, you know that they offer you, they give you an option to pick, out of 5 things, you can pick one of them. And one of them is a drink package. So,
Okay.
of course, when I cruise Norwegian, I'm getting the drink package because
Right.
I'm getting the drink package. And, they also have Wi-Fi and specialty dining stuff. So I'm part of that 5. So, but you just get to pick one of them. And so
Now you
to
can pick others and pay for it.
yeah, you can pick others
Yeah.
and pay for
But
it.
you get one already
But you get
included.
one already included.
Yeah.
So if you want like a fine dining package, you can still get that.
Mm-hmm.
When if you don't get it right when you are doing your cruise and setting it up, you can do it on board.
Yeah.
And they'll do it
You
for
can
you
add
board.
on.
Yeah, you can add it on.
Just like
on
your
board.
Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah.
it is.
But that was
But-
just the most relaxing time for me.
Yeah.
Like I really wish that.
But
I
the
can
whole
just go to
plan
another
is
one.
everybody's we're gonna pick a day, the cruise and all that other neat stuff. We're gonna leave it, the bookings and all that other neat stuff to the individual. We're not gonna hey, for an extra $50, we're gonna organize all of this shit per person. I'm not playing that game. But the one thing we are gonna do is if there's an individual that wants to go and doesn't want to pay double occupancy, we'll help coordinate who can
Yeah.
Gotcha.
be on in the share rooms and that type of stuff.
Yeah, because that's the only bad thing about the cruise, really, is that if you want your own room, you still have to pay double occupancy on it. So,
Right. So
the only
if
thing you
it's a
gotta
$300 cruise, but you're going by yourself, you got to pay $600 because you got to pay for the other slot in the room.
Yeah.
yeah.
And in fact, that was one of the things. And I'm gonna throw somebody under the bus again.
Oh Lord. But,
We're up to 5
okay,
now.
All right, just
So-
don't back up and roll over him again.
No, because this is a funny story, and I've told it many times.
All right. Go for it.
But-
Okay, can you make it short and sweet though? Can you?
Yeah,
can you?
I'll
Okay.
make it as short and sweet as I can.
Because your stories be like 20 fucking minutes long. Like get to the point.
Dave went to the Habanos Festival with Nelson. Came back, had a big slideshow showing all the cool stuff in Cuba, and that inspired a bunch of people to go to Cuba. And Jasmine, who used to work here, and Kayla booked a cruise that had a stop in Cuba. And Chris was talking about going with them, but didn't want to pay the double occupancy. So I said, I'll go with you. So Chris and I were talking about going with them and everything. And then, I kind of asked him, I said, listen, are you sure you want us going with you? And that's when Kayla goes, well, actually, I was talking to Jasmine. We really don't want y'all going, and which was code for me that they were going to be doing stuff they didn't want anybody to know about.
I mean, you're cruising. What happens on the cruise stays on the cruise, and they don't want you guys looking at what the hell they doing.
Well, and I was okay with that. I had no problem with that.
I wouldn't invite you either.
So a few months,
This cruise is off to an epic start already.
Right?
So-
look at here.
So I started looking for another cruise to take, and said to myself, well, what would it cost to just fly to Cuba instead of just spending a day in Cuba? And round trip tickets were like $360. I found this Airbnb in Cuba, New Havana, that was for 4 nights cost us $105 a piece total.
All right.
That's pretty good.
And I said, that's cheaper than a cruise. And we spent 5 days in Cuba. So all was good. And then about a month and a half before the cruise that the girls were going to take, Kayla was in the gym and talking to some friends of hers there. And she mentioned she was going on a cruise. They got to talking about it. And this girl was going on the same cruise and asked Kayla if she was bringing her girlfriend. She goes, yeah, well, I'm bringing a friend, blah, blah, blah. And come to find out, they had accidentally booked a gay cruise.
Okay.
And
Hey.
I said, thank
Hey.
God Chris and I didn't go on that cruise. Because the talk after that would have been horrendous. We would have not caught
Did they
a
or
free
did they
minute.
not go on this?
Oh, we did.
cruise?
No, they did not go on that cruise. No,
But-
they did
but
not.
Kayla and Jasmine
But
went on
Kayla
the
and
cruise.
Jasmine had a good time, and they enjoyed themselves.
They did.
And they had a great time.
But one of the Mark McClurkin gave Kayla a cigar to smoke on the cruise. It was in a tube. Told her not to open it till she got up on the upper deck and wanted Jasmine to video her opening up this special stick. He had loaded it spring-loaded it with dick-shaped confetti. So when she opened it up, it shot out.
That's awesome.
They didn't video it, but she said it was hilarious. Kayla just laughed her ass off. It was so funny.
That's awesome.
So
that's good times.
You had made a comment about your honeymoon you spent in Aruba, right?
Aruba. Our wedding was in Aruba. Yeah.
Kayla loves Aruba. Like literally, she goes a lot.
Yeah.
Like she's.
Aruba's a great fucking place.
That's
like,
one of the things.
We've gone so many times. Like we've just kind of banned it from like places we're gonna go for a while. Like we did a family trip a couple years ago, and my 90. I think she was 90 at the time. My Nana went, and like. My family is very small, unlike my wife's family, and I have 2 cousins.
Oh, you have a small.
I have a very small family, but like our family vacations were always them coming to us or us going to them in Ohio. So we had never taken an actual trip together, but we got everybody to go to Aruba, and it was also around my younger cousin's 40th birthday, and we did this great trip. And I mean, it was amazing. Like. Aruba, you just got to know the ins and outs of Aruba, like flying in and flying out. Like you got to know that you can skip that monstrosity of a line at the airport that'll make you miss your flight, because that's just the bullshit one. You can watch. They don't have signage that really tells you. Yeah. You think I just got to be in this line. Like no, if you're like. You got all your certifications and stuff, like you can skip all that shit and walk right around them and go right in and you're on your plane.
Oh, wow.
But like Aruba's like probably one of the safest places I've ever been. It got a bad rap with the Natalie Hardaway or whatever. I'm probably saying her name wrong, but you know, when that happened, but like literally my wife and my mother-in-law went walking at like 1 a.m. to the pharmacy to get something for my father-in-law, and like walked from the hotel down the main strip by the hotels to the shopping center, walked like, well, let's say a mile and a half, walked down there at 1 o'clock in the morning, back by themselves, like nobody, like, and we used to joke about like, you never see police here. And I was actually joking about that with the priest when we were standing on the beach, like waiting on everything to happen and getting set up. And he's like, well, you don't see a lot of cops here because the cartels, because of where Aruba's located, and it's kind of a protected island, like they do all their shipments around that area. So like if you draw attention here, you're not being dealt with by the police. You're going to get dealt with by the cartel. Like you're, you know, like, so as long as you're not causing a problem and you're not starting shit, Aruba's like the best place in the world. Like you can go walk in anywhere at any time of night. The locals will take you in. They'll take you to the local stuff. I mean, we befriended a waiter that treated us like rock stars while we were there. Second time we went back, I reached out to him. He was like, bring me some barbecue sauces and some rubs. Cool, got you. Yeah. I said, are you working Sunday? He goes, no, Sunday's normally my day off. I said, what do you normally get paid if you were working? He goes, oh, you know, I make $100-200 an hour for the night. And I said, okay, cool. I was like, how about this? I'll rent the Jeep. You bring your wife and your kid. You take us to the parts of the island that like the tourists
no one ever gets.
Don't go see, like where you guys hang out. Like we want to experience the way you would want us to experience the island. He's like, cool. I was like, I will pay you for your time. Like, I will pay you to be our like little travel guide. Yeah. And like do this. And he was ecstatic about it. And like all the places that like when I rented the Jeep that they make you sign saying you're not gonna go, that's everywhere that we went. We had the best time. We ate great food, got to see a whole, and we'd already been to Aruba. We'd spent 2 weeks there getting married. We'd been there one other time, and then this trip we did everything. Yeah. So I highly recommend Aruba. It's an amazing place to go, but like do it right. Like go experience the culture. That's why I don't like cruises because
they only give you so many hours on
the
that port. Yeah.
Like and you pull into a port. That ain't where all the shit is.
Yeah. No, it's not.
You got to go to the other side of the island to really get into it. And that's what I enjoy. That's why I don't really care for cruises, but. That's a whole nother story.
Right. Well, you know, and the one cruise I went on, my ex-wife, she organized something to do at each stop. We did a Jeep tour around Jamaica. We did swimming with the stingrays. And when we got to Mexico, we went to a place called Mr. Sancho's. Was an all-inclusive resort. And it was one of those type of experience. The way we walked in, we found a seat. Guy came over and says, "Listen, I'll be your waiter today. This is your table. I'll keep an eye on your stuff. What do you want to drink?" And I keep joking. We could only spend a short period of time there because we had to get back to the boat.
Yeah.
But I've joked that I want to go back to Mr. Sancho's. I want to be there when it opens. I don't want to be there when it closes, because that was just a phenomenal place to go.
Well, he can't be there when it closes because his ass gonna get left, because the ship will leave your ass.
Oh yeah, but
It
no,
will
I'm talking
leave
about
you,
going to Mexico.
and then you have to
just for
find
that-
you
do
have
that.
to find a ticket to get back to where the next stop is gonna be.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're not playing when they
Well,
tell
that was
you.
the last stop I had to fly back.
Yeah.
To.
When they tell
Dallas.
you to be back at a certain time, they're not playing. They're gonna leave your ass.
Oh yeah, they don't mess
They're
around.
gonna leave your ass.
Yeah,
The
yeah, but I don't want. I don't want to go to Mr. Sancho's on a cruise. I want to go to Mexico.
Yeah, and then
fly
go
to
fly to Mexico and just
then
enjoy your
spend,
time.
Spend a day at Mr. Sancho's.
So I want to know. You brought up, yes, I did not see the show last night. I ended up in a.
No, I'm just.
No, I know, but it's fine. Like I normally do. Like I love coming on your guys' show because like usually I'm the guy over there trolling everybody and like messing with people. Like I take great pride in that. I have a lot of fun doing that. But I made a post last night that you even commented on, and I'm just curious how you look at that with like whether it's a guest or a friend or someone you're talking to, having difficult conversations. You know, this has come up a lot recently because sometimes being a good friend or being able to help somebody sometimes requires you to have a really difficult conversation with them. And like, sometimes the honesty really hurts, or like, you know, you
It does.
be that.
It does when you do that, but it only hurt for a minute. And I guarantee you that whoever you're having this difficult conversation with is going to appreciate the fact that you actually told them the truth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Don't ask me anything if you don't want me to sugarcoat it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to tell you for real.
Yeah.
Like, but you're not doing anybody any good service if you're just sugarcoating it for them, and they think, you know, okay, well, it's okay to do this, or it's okay to act like this, or whatever it is. You have to be honest with them and just be who you are, and let them realize that they were wrong. Like, you know, well, there's really no right or wrong. It's your opinion and that's what you want to do. But I really would prefer someone to tell me something honestly versus just telling me something that you think I want to hear. I want to know the truth. And don't sugarcoat it with me, because if you sugarcoat it with me, then I'm not going to handle it as well.
Right.
I want you to be honest and tell me exactly what you're thinking.
But luckily,
I may
we
not
have not
agree with
had-
you, but everybody has their opinion.
Have you guys had that happen on your show where like you like start having a conversation and like somebody drops something you really weren't expecting?
Not really. No, because we're talking about cigars and cigar experiences, and if you remember, I sent you a little questionnaire.
Yeah.
A couple of things that you wanted to talk about, non-cigar related, and then tell us a little bit about your cigar journey, because we're only doing an hour.
Yeah.
And, and we can fill it up easily with that. We don't have to get into any weird stuff, trying to draw out time and that type of thing. So,
Yeah. So what's the most interesting, or what's the thing that stands out the most? Like, you've got 5 years in now of doing a show. What are some of the like moments that really stand out to you, of like magical moments, or like moments where you just were like, wow, that was really impactful, or that like added a lot of value?
Well, we had Sean, the Luciano rep, on our show, and he is a big cook. He loves to cook for large groups.
Phenomenal cook.
And he brought a charcuterie board in, and we got to eat the charcuterie. And I'm talking to him about doing a cooking show at some point, where we make a bunch of stuff on camera running the show, and then donate the food to an organization, a food bank employees, not the food bank, but the employees who they're working, and that might not necessarily get to have something like that. Also, one of one of my most popular shows, we had Jamon from
Jamon
DC.
from
Yeah,
DC.
that was before my
Yep.
time.
Yep. And he decided to make the show a drinking game.
Well, I'm gonna have to go back and watch this one.
And
Jamon and I had a lot of fun. But I can see where this is going.
And anybody who said the word cigar had to drink on a cigar show. And even Dave showed up on that one. And they're agging us on going, what's the name of your company again? Wanting to say cigar. And we were fine for the first 30, 40 minutes. By the end of the show, it was, I love you, man. Oh, I love you, man. And we were
Because the guy, he had that alcohol. He had that juice in him.
Yeah.
well, and
Hopefully Pennington was here for this too.
Pennington was there.
Yeah, he was.
It was
like
me,
I said, it was
me and
before my
Pennington
time.
and
It was
him.
way before my time.
Well, and we were doing cigar company spotlight, so we were spotlighting DC. But and like I said, he came over for dinner, and then we had the show, and then it was during the summer. We finished up. We went back to the back patio, sat and talked until he passed out,
Nice.
and I had to call him an Uber and call his wife and say, "I'm sending your husband home."
in an Uber.
You know, the one that messed me up really bad was Ken Hamlin. When I had Hamlin on, he doesn't drink.
Yep.
Oh.
So
And I've had a few
6 to 8 p.m.
Yeah.
we drank Peruvian coffee.
Oh.
I came home on some Taco-Lot juice. My wife was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And like, I'm like,
It's the
"Coffee."
coffee.
Caffeined up.
And like, man, I laid in bed with my head reeling till 3, 4 in the morning, and then had to get up and go to work.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably.
Yeah,
It's
that's
funny
not-
because people will ask me, it's like, "Oh yeah, you guys were slurring and this and that." By the end of the show, yeah, we got pretty wasted. Like we had a good time, but like, man,
Of the
I'll tell you
coffee.
straight up, that one, no, that was just like other
Oh, okay,
shows like
okay.
drinking alcohol, but like no alcohol. Like that was a non-alcohol show. And that had me more on a roll than anything else. Like sitting there drinking coffee with him for
Well,
2 hours straight.
We what made and I'll call him Jamon, but it's Jamon. But he brought in a bottle of Angel's Envy,
Yeah.
probably about 3/4 full. We emptied it.
Of course you did.
And surprised me.
Old fashioned.
Yep. Rock and roll.
So then I pulled out, what's that liquor company out of Forney that we did a lot of stuff with? You remember?
Oh.
Out of 40.
Anyway,
Yeah.
but I had a bottle of their single
Elm.
barrel cask.
Elm Fork. No, Elm.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. It is.
It's Elm something.
Yes. They used to do a lot of stuff with Saturday at the Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway-
I know what you're talking about.
This stuff was 140 proof.
Ooh, you got some barrel strength.
It was barrel strength. And we probably emptied about half of that bottle before the end of the show. And yeah, we were lit.
When you're doing
And in
a
fact,
show-
I had to start cheating a little bit. Instead of taking a drink, I was just taking a barely a sip because I knew one of us had to be fairly sober by the end of the show.
Yeah.
And back then, I was still doing the show on my phone. I didn't even have the camera yet.
Oh wow.
And
you see how far he has evolved?
Yeah, I mean, he's got all the different setups now. Like, he's got the wireless mics. He's got everything. He's like the KO of podcasting.
no. I'm still strictly amateur. But I have come a long way. You know, and it's been a fun journey. Just getting the setups done and sitting down with interesting people and hearing interesting stories from everybody and as much as I loved the cigar company spotlights, Rhonda's and I's show is entirely different. But it's a much easier show because, other than the questionnaire, it's a very low key, casual conversation amongst, friends and like-minded people. And you never have, people will come on and they're nervous. And then about a third of the way through, they're like, "This is nothing. This is just us sitting around chatting. It's just so easy."
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
what makes it easy.
Exactly.
I mean, because when you're doing this, you want to be comfortable, and you want your guests to be comfortable too. So there's no need to.
Josh was so scared to be on the show the first time.
Oh yeah, he was so scared.
And
Yes,
and
he was, but he did great too.
He
It was
did
like
great.
once he got
Hell,
started,
we
it was
had
just
his
like
wife on, and she did great. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
it's
it's an
just
easy going show. You know, I talk shit a little bit, he talks shit a little bit. You know.
Oh, little Elm. Little Elm Josh. I'm surprised. He's probably mad because this isn't on Facebook where he can like jump in and
Yeah.
really be commenting and
everybody.
stuff like that. He'd be harassing the hell out of y'all, I bet, right now. What,
Oh, yeah.
what's the most intriguing story that you've had on the show? You said Jamon
gotta
was
get
the
my
most
cherry.
like, because y'all played your drinking game, but like, what's one that really stands out of 5 years of doing this now? Like, what's a show that really
well,
stands out?
yours
for
was
you?
good. I mean, we got to promote your charity
Yeah.
event, and I was
Yeah.
really glad to hear that. And anytime we have a cigar rep on, I really like those because we get to learn more about
Yeah.
the company they're repping, and you know, you find out interesting facts that you might not have known beforehand. We had
Oliver's a great show. When you sit down with Oliver, that's
Yep.
a great one. To,
Oliver's great. I had Espinosa's rep on, Big Tony, and you know, they're just
what's maybe? Let me rephrase this. What's maybe like 3 of your like top? Go, come on, man.
Come on, just get on in
Don't
here.
be camera shy.
Yeah, I am
You
at a
don't
bad ice.
riley us.
At a bad ice. Yep, so just put the bad news in there.
Here.
You're good. Thank you, brother.
Here.
no.
Oh,
I told him just
Yeah,
make
he's
me
fine.
something.
he's got a surprise.
Yeah.
Mm.
You guys
Okay.
good?
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
No problem.
What's like 5 of your top? Like, if you could name like 5 wish list guests, what are your top 5 for each of you?
Always love having
No,
Magnolia-
people you haven't had on.
who I've had.
Like this is like for me, I'll do
okay,
myself
who-
like Joe Rogan, Marcus Aubrey, Jocko,
I want
JP
Darren Chaffee
Donnell.
on the show. I
That would
need
be a
to
good
figure
one.
out. I need to get him in here on a Wednesday to do the show with us. I would love to have Nelson on. If we could ever see him again. It's been 3 years since we've seen Nelson.
Two.
Two. And you know,
Maybe something that's even not in cigar world, like that you would just like to sit down and have a conversation with.
oh well, they'd all have to be cigar related because of the show. But Steve Harvey.
Okay.
I mean, I've got a box of Cochons in my aging humidor that's probably 6 years old now. That once I meet Steve Harvey, he gets that box because evidently he loves the Cochons.
All right.
I mean, it's a phenomenal steak. I mean, I got a text the other day from someone that doesn't even come up here very often. And he said to me, when those Cochons come in, can you let me know? And I was like, yeah, I'll tell you. So I texted him yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I said, they're in. If you want them, you better go get some. Because, you know, them suckers fly off the damn shelf quickly.
Yeah.
They fly off the shelf. I'm just mad that I didn't get it. But I got one.
Got one today.
Thanks to Garrett.
You got
Yeah.
one today.
Well, I
Yeah.
initially ordered 10 off the website as soon as it popped on. And I got the text message. And I was surprised he let me order 10 because usually there's kind of a restriction on them.
Well, you know the new boxes,
Well,
they're no longer 10. The new
They're
boxes
20s.
are 20s.
Yeah. So I came in, and Josh says, no, there's no limit on them. I said, well, I'm going to go get another 10 then. So I grabbed another 10.
I mean, when you open it up like that and there's no limit, hell yeah, I would be getting a bunch of them too.
And thank you, Victoria. I don't know who that is.
That is my
but
bestie.
That's your bestie?
Yes.
Well, I sound like Bob from Bob's Burgers or Archer. I don't know who that is, but
That's a compliment.
You don't know what it is?
I'll take that, but I
It's
don't
a
know who that
compliment.
is.
It's a
That is
compliment.
crazy. Now that
I'll
I'm
tell you, I'm
sitting
not
here,
rolling.
I'm like, yeah, you do.
Yeah. That's a compliment.
All right, cool. I'll roll with it.
Yeah.
And if you have
she's
not
in,
seen Archer, you need to watch Archer.
Oh, yeah.
I think we started Archer, and I feel like that's one that we just got lost in, like during COVID. That we didn't stick with it, but I feel like we started it. It's like a Robin Hood thing, right?
No.
He's more like James Bond with the.
It's a spoof of
Yeah.
James Bond,
Yeah.
and he tells everybody he's a secret agent.
Sweet.
And
Now you're speaking my.
And what's funny is, as much as he boasts about being a secret agent, he is really good, and most of it he just stumbles out of, you know. But it's so hilarious. But the guy that does Bob Burgers does the same voice, and I'm trying to think of her name. Does the Lana character? But you know, it's just hilarious, and he drinks heavily, and just.
So what you trying to say? Garrett drinks heavily?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'll roll with it.
Just what the character is.
I think we can't help it when we're in a cigar lounge, especially since the new expansion.
Yeah.
I mean, you just want to just sit in there all day. Like, it's just so beautiful.
He
in
does.
there.
What are you talking about?
I try.
Well, you know, I'm not here all day. I'm not here every day, so I don't see him in there all day. But I will say that damn food is.
He's trying
great.
to throw shade on me because he's like I got to try the burger first. I got the Chicago hot dog.
Yeah, I got
first.
this first. I was the first one to
I
have
was
this.
the first one. I named the timeout cigar.
That's him.
Well,
You know what?
That's him.
You know what?
Yeah, tell us. You know what? We're
I'm
listening.
grateful. And I've joked about this for years. I'm just lucky they let me in the door. But you know what? I am such a staple around here with my. It's another beautiful day in paradise.
Yes, you are.
And
you almost need that should be your hashtag.
Yeah.
you know what?
You
I need a
own that more
t-shirt.
than anybody I ever have met in my life.
I need it on a t-shirt. I really do.
You do.
I'm sure you're going to figure that out soon.
Yeah, I will.
That will be another t-shirt that will be on the website.
And that's probably, I'm going to be honest, that's probably one of my least favorite answers when I ask somebody how their day's going. Because it's just that staple. It doesn't tell you anything about what's going on in the world.
No.
Well, you know, but to be honest, when you say, how are you doing? You really don't want to know because...
See, I'm opposite. I do. I want to have that conversation because usually that's going to be because you never know how bad it is for somebody else, or you don't really know, and or you think you're having the worst day, and then you start having a conversation. You're like, well, shit. My day ain't that bad. My day was all right. You just put that in perspective for me because
there's been so many videos and stuff about about that phrase. How are you doing today? They want a fine or everything's good.
Cool beans.
And they really are cool beans. In fact, I joked about changing that to everything's higgly piggly. Not higgly piggly, hunky dory and peachy keen. And I was told you cannot change that. We expect that, and there are several people out there that when they ask me how are you doing today, expect me to say that and will call me out if I don't.
It happens. You've definitely got that moniker now.
Oh, that's awesome.
It'd almost be your closing.
I know.
It ought to be your tagline in there.
I'm sure he'll fit that in probably in the next show.
He'll try.
Yeah.
Liz, you're being awful quiet over there.
I'm just listening to you guys watching this thing.
He's
He's chilling. He's got his margarita.
He's surfing
well,
YouTube
you look like
That
you're almost
one
empty over
margarita.
I
there.
monitor on
That
what's
one
the name?
margarita
See?
got him good.
Oh yeah, I'm good. See, it's all the first Fridays with Rhonda over the last 5 years that just caused me to stop drinking. Back in the day when we used to get like super stupid hooked
You
up.
will not put that on me, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Apple
All I
crime.
did was offer. You didn't have to take it.
Crown apple.
No, that dang on peach. We've been on that sucker.
Yeah,
Woo.
Have y'all had the blackberry yet?
I've had it.
They got a
and I
blackberry?
actually like it. Yes, they have blackberry crown.
Ooh.
And it's pretty.
allocated right now.
Yes,
it's
it is.
hot.
It was, you know what? That's how the peach was when it first came out. It was the same exact way. Everybody loves it. They finally just put it back into a regular production now. So you can get Crown Peach at any liquor store now.
My buddy Patrick was telling me, he's like, all right, I'm not going to knock the Crown Blackberry. He's like, but they made some kind of cocktail, him and his wife, that was like lemonade.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that, and he was like, now, if this was 104 degrees out, Texas summer day, and we're chilling by the pool or out on the beach, that would be my drink right there.
Yeah.
Like, I could do
Yeah.
that, but it's a little too sweet for anything
Well,
else.
and see, and so is the peach. I love the peach. That's one of my favorite drinks. I've got boxes in my
All
bar.
right, fair
I just
enough.
love the peach. But when I had the blackberry, I was like, this is good. I just had it over ice, a big block of ice. It was,
And it's got a purple bottle
yeah, I know.
with a purple bag.
And a purple bag.
Man.
So you know I'm on the hunt for that blackberry. But it's good. Now, it'll be like this. This will probably go on like for a year. And then the next year you'll find it everywhere.
Yeah.
You'll find,
Everybody
because that's what they
gets
did
their
with the
fill of
peach. They did the same thing
It's
with
like
the
a new
peach.
It's always
restaurant.
like
Yeah.
that.
It's like a new restaurant. The first several months, or
Everybody wants it.
everybody wants to try it out and everything, and
Yeah.
then
And some people on my Facebook that have had it, they've mixed it with, like you said, lemonade, because they said, some of them said it tastes like cough syrup. I mean, but if you're not a sweet person, you don't like sweet drinks, then that's not a drink that you're going to want to go to anyway.
Right.
and I'm more of a
Yeah.
sour person.
So-
I don't like too much sweetness.
You're sour?
And yes, he is sour.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had
Or
it
I-
over
or I
a
like
block of
scotch.
ice.
I'm now
and
calling
it was
Pennington
good.
sweet, and you're sour.
Yeah. Sweet and sour.
Got it. All right, this is the time of the show where we have two little segments we like to do on here with everybody, and I can't wait to see what you two have for this. First one, if you could leave your child with one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Stay humble.
I was about to say, don't take yourself too serious. You know, when I started doing that, life became a lot easier.
Fair. Second part. Show's called Common Sense, so we've gone down a lot of different rabbit holes tonight, but now's kind of y'all's chance to, like, we like to just call this your 2 cents. So you can give us your 2 cents on anything that maybe it's been brought up in the show, maybe it wasn't brought up in the show, maybe it's just something weighing on you, maybe it's just something you want to talk about. Literally, the mic's yours. Like, you just get to kind
Go
of
ahead.
go.
Oh, she's going to throw me under the bus.
She's going to
first.
let you go under
Well,
the bus.
I mean,
first.
I answered the first question, the first part of
There
it.
you go.
So why not you answer the second?
Ron's 2 cents.
My 2 cents. Too many people growing up, we've got about 2 generations of kids, because I'm 57, I'm going to call them kids, who don't understand what real life is and think they're entitled to a lot of stuff that they are just not.
Fair.
And I'll give you an example. And
Don't want
Hey.
somebody else under the bus.
they complain you can't buy a house on a single income anymore. That's not true. The problem is they're looking for too much house
That doesn't
and-
fit their
and-
budget.
and that they think they're entitled to. I did a Google search just not too long ago. The average home size in the 1950s was 700 to 1,200 square feet. And if we were making more houses that were 700 to 1,200 square feet, you could comfortable, and you know, my father's house, he raised 4 kids in a 1,200 square foot house. You could afford that now on a single income, but you cannot afford a 2,400 square foot house on a single income. And you've got to understand that you're not entitled to a 1,200 square or a 2,400 square foot house on a single income. If
Yeah.
that's what you want, you're going to have to get in your mind, you're going to have to do it on 2 incomes and be okay with that. I don't want to hear you bitching and complaining. I can't buy that. No, but you could buy a 700 square foot house in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
And, you know, part of the problem is we're not making them that size anymore.
that's true.
Yeah.
That is a very limited, very hard to find.
Right.
Scenario.
And what needs to happen is that people got to understand that and start requesting those type of houses for the builders to start building them again.
Yeah, and I mean, you
Yeah.
start watching a show like Vice, which I'm like wrapped up in right now, or Shogun, and you see like the Japanese or the Chinese cultures.
Shogun
and
is my joint.
That's your joint.
Dude,
I love
that
that.
show is amazing. But you see the way they live and how comfortable they are, and that's like somebody that's never been to New York and like been in Manhattan or Brooklyn or somewhere like that.
Yeah, because when you-
and seen what they are, I mean, they're paying. I mean, that's a
$3,000.
500 square foot apartment with a stackable or a washer dryer combo that's
If it's
one
even
single
in there.
unit. If you have that, and it's like those people live just fine, and they're working and they take the metro and they do this and that, but like you've got to, I think the expectations, and I think my generation and probably even y'all's, like, we did that to them though, because we tried to give them everything that we didn't have.
Exactly.
And didn't teach them that like everything's not handed to you. Everything's like
I remember
given.
moving out the first time, and I had to have a roommate.
yeah.
You know, we didn't go out to eat all the time.
I did too.
Didn't have cable. Only had one TV in the entire house.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know, everybody expects to have just everything right after graduation, and are complaining, well, I can't do that. You don't. You have to work into that.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't. They and I've seen too many videos of people complaining they can't work a 40-hour week. I just, I don't know if I can do this. Hell, I'm 57, and half the time I still have two jobs. I work 40 at one and part-time at another. I've been driving Uber on and off for 7 years, almost 8. And to hear people complain about 40 hours, I'm like, I'm doing 70, 80 hours a week. What are you complaining about?
Yeah.
But, you know, I do that because I want the stuff.
Yeah.
I don't expect it to be handed to me.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford all the cigars and the scotch and the bourbon and all that other neat stuff if I didn't. And if I want those things, I have to work for it. You know,
Yeah,
it's just a simple common sense fact.
Yeah, and social media glorifies this, and this is where I hate social media is you see these influencers and shit that are living in their parents' basement and like
For free.
leasing a, 7
Lamborghini,
Series
yeah.
BMW or something, and they lease it, and they're like strapped to the max, and
And
like,
how many
but they're
of
putting
them
that out there, and they're making all these other people think like, well, that's just normal, like he can do that, like, well, no,
why can't
bullshit,
I?
like the really the
Yeah.
real is here, like that's not what they're doing, like,
You know, but one thing I have told my kids is, I don't expect you to be rich. I don't expect you to be famous. I do expect you to support yourself.
yeah,
I mean, if you've got to do it with a roommate for a while, if you've got to live within your means, great. But that's all I want. That's all I expect out of you. You do anything above that, that's amazing. But bare minimum, you need to be able to support yourself.
all right, he gave you a Ron story, so it's your turn. He
Like,
gave
he
you
just
lots
took-
of time to think about this.
Well, mine is just my 2 cents is stay humble. Don't worry about what other people think of you because they're not walking in your shoes. This is your life, and you do what you will and want with your own life. But at the end of the day, don't take life for granted and just be humble and be kind to people because I think that's missing in the world today is the kindness that you know that you have, but you won't give.
yeah,
So just being in the doing my part-time, doing
Yeah.
assistant living, you get to see a lot. You get to see a lot of these people who have big families, who have families that they can actually go live with, but their families won't allow that to happen. And there's some that just can't because of their health issues. They have to be.
they need the assistance.
They need the
Yeah.
assistance. But just be humble and kind and respectful and not worry about what everybody thinks of you because it's not their life, it's yours. They're not walking in your shoes every single day, so they really don't know what you're going through.
Yeah,
But if you stay true to yourself and stay humble and still be kind to people, it pays off in the end.
is there I just want to follow up to that though real quickly. Is there a regret that you see real commonplace in that part-time job that like you've latched onto that's taught you maybe a lesson that like in what you're saying now, because you're seeing these people that their better years are behind them and now they're needing assistance, stuff like that? Is there a commonality, a thread there, or something that like you've really like noticed that's like changed how you look at things?
Yeah, well, just being in that type of business, like I have a lot more respect for elderly people because they can't get around. Like their cars have been taken. The kids have taken their cars. You know what I mean? They can't just all of a sudden anymore just get up and go to the grocery store if you want to go to the grocery store or go to the mall or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You just learn to have a lot of respect for these people who helped pave the way for you at some point. Like the lady that I work for literally worked for the Pentagon. Literally. And she is the most humblest little old lady I've ever met in my life. She's so sweet. And it's like, it's hard for me to leave that job because of her.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have any kids. She never was married. She has no kids. She has a brother that lives literally 5 minutes away from me. And he doesn't go down and see her very often. But what he does do is he handles her finances for her. He comes and picks her up for her doctor's appointments. And so he's present, but he's not present there every single day. Yeah. And I just see a lot of elderly people who don't have any family come and see them every single day.
Yeah.
So when I'm not there, she really feels the effect because I really take care of her like she was my granny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always, even though she's 91, she still has all her senses, but she still struggles with like how to turn on the TV and watch a show that she wants to watch. And I literally took me a month and a half to get her to where she can just click on this app and see the shows that she wants. So you got to have patience.
Yeah.
And I think that today a lot of people don't have patience because we're all in such a hurry to do shit because we got to get somewhere or we got to finish up work.
That really isn't that important.
Right. That's not. Because guess what? At the end of the day, that shit's still going to be there. And where you going to be?
Yeah.
So I just think that there's just needs to be a little more kindness. People need to really take care of their elderly parents. I wouldn't put my mom in an assisted living home. I just wouldn't do it. I would just deal with it at home. If I have the means to keep my parent at home, that's what I'm going to do. Because a lot of these people are just sitting in this assisted living, just wasting away.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank both of you for taking the time to come and do the show with me today. Had a great time sitting down with you guys.
Well, thank you for
thanks for having me on your show.
I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed the show that you were on ours because we had such a great time.
Yeah, thank you. It was a good time.
I mean, I don't want to say you were the perfect guest, but you were close to it. I mean, you came in, you knew exactly what to do. The conversation was phenomenal. The interaction was amazing, and gonna have to have you on again.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll come back anytime, man. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's a lot easier when you you have a little background and like this isn't foreign to you, and you know how to do that, and that's part of the process too, like growing and learning. And I tell people all the time, like if you enjoy something like that, like put yourself out there, do it, try it. Like what's it gonna hurt you? Like
it's not gonna hurt.
Just do it. Like I mean, what's the worst thing? Somebody's gonna get on here and troll you and say something bad about you that you don't even know.
Yeah.
I mean, like who cares?
And who cares? They're not walking in your shoes. They don't live the life that you live. So I look at it this way: if you're bad mouthing me, what's wrong with you? What's going on in your life that you feel that you need to badmouth me? Does it make you feel better? Okay, that's fine.
Cool.
If it makes you feel better,
you're gonna
great.
take all that time out of your day to do that.
Yeah, because you know what? There's one thing you cannot get back is time.
Yeah.
Time waits for nobody.
Yeah. Just like cancer doesn't discriminate against anybody.
Nobody.
Like my buddy that you guys let me do, we did the foundation, we did the fundraiser. We raised like almost $14,000 for him so he can, not worry about bills during that time. But like this guy is a former professional bodybuilder. He's head of training. Mm-hmm. Like this guy is very healthy. Like, and guess what? Cancer's
it does not discriminate
getting after him
at all.
Like,
no.
From you never know when it's going to happen.
To adults, to elderly, to anybody, to dogs, to cats, anybody. It is going to hit you.
Yeah.
It doesn't discriminate.
So
at all.
enjoy it while you have it.
Yeah, just live life and be happy.
Well, just so you guys know, next week we are not going to have a show because I'm going to be at the infamous TAA for my apartment industry, hanging out in San Antonio. We're doing if you want to reach out to me, if you're going to be down there and you'd like to join us, we're doing a couple special events. We have my good friend Tony Hills coming down there. He's going to be hanging out with us for some private events and should be a really great time. So hit us up. The following week, we will be right back here with you guys, and I have a good friend of mine that has been in the construction world for a long time, Mr. Casey Land. He has literally done the same thing as me pretty much, and he has done a little bit of everything in the construction world. So he wants to come on, chop it up. We're going to talk about everything you guys want to know. If you have questions for whether you want to go from estimating to sales to project management to general construction knowledge, that will be your show for sure. So
Definitely
you
looking
guys,
forward to that one.
yeah, appreciate it, guys, and stay safe. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.